Good morning. I'm up at 7:03 in the morning on this Sunday. I think it's August 14th or 15th. One of those days. And the sound you hear behind me is my ice maker. The ice maker went out on the machine. It's early. On the fridge. So, yeah, I'm going to end up getting it fixed, but I went ahead and bought me a second ice maker. This right here, the Igloo. It is doing a bang up job. Look at that. This is fantastic. It doesn't have to be hooked up to a water source. I can make large or small ice. It lets you know when the water is done so you can fill it back up. And I have it over here on my butcher's rack. I was going to put it outside, but I was like, it's too pretty to put outside. Let me show you. It's pretty. It's the same color as my KitchenAid up there. Cherry apple red. So today is a canning day. It's canning Sunday. I will be canning more bread and butter pickles. I like the bread and butter pickles better than the sweet pickles. I'm going to make more of those. Spaghetti sauce. And I'm going to start setting up pineapples in the dehydrator. Cut those up. I cannot use the tops because I checked and they put a tag all the way through the middle of the crown, so I cannot use the tops to excuse me just a moment. I cannot use the tops to replant. So I'm gonna cut up the pineapples, put them in a dehydrator. I think I'll leave the dehydrator in the house because it's not like it's garlic or onions and gonna smell up the house. And I'm gonna make me some dehydrated pineapples, and hopefully they taste like candy. Then I'll be making, I'll be doing the bread and butter pickles. And lastly, I will be, I'm looking at the awesome. Now I know how the ice falls. Anyway, and then I'll be making the spaghetti sauce last. But right now I'm preparing everything. I'm about to get my jars and start dehydrating them and eat a little breakfast. And then start making my my dishwater, because I'll be making that all day, and then we'll be good to go. So I'll see you all in a little while. Okay, so what you're seeing here is approximately 6 pounds of tomatoes. I use the reddest, most ripe tomatoes. These are Kellogg's Breakfast, that's why they're orange. I only need about 4 pounds, but I'm going to cook all of these, and I'm just going to season to taste. Okay, of course I won't be sticking my spoon back in the spaghetti sauce. I'll be cleaning it off, so don't think I'm unsanitary. Cucumbers here. I have about 6.5 pounds of cucumbers. I only need 4 pounds. Now, what I did is I have some ice right here. When I slice up the cucumbers, I'm going to put them in the ice. Also, my cucumber plants are getting old. Not all of the cucumbers are tasting the greatest. So I'm going to cut in the middle of each one, and I'm going to taste it. If it has an awful taste, I'm throwing it away. I still have a lot of cucumbers left in the refrigerator, so I'm doing okay with the cucumbers. But I've already measured them out. I'm going to get the ingredients for the cucumbers and the tomatoes a little bit later, and then we'll be working on those. I wanted you to see that my mother made a homemade peach cobbler using fresh nectarines and peaches. It is so good. Okay, so that's it for now. Now I'm going to get over to the pineapples. What you hear in the back is my dishwater. I'm going to get over to the pineapples and start cutting those up and putting those in the dehydrator, and they are going to stay in the dehydrator for 8 to 10 hours. So that's going to be all day that I don't have to worry about the pineapples. Okay, I'll be with you guys in a little while. Hello everybody. So as you can see, I am busy. Oh, you can't see the pineapple. Pineapple. this over here. Cutting board over here. Okay, so this is what I was stating earlier about the tag. I checked this tag, and they put the tag all the way through the stem. So therefore, they killed off the main root, and I cannot, in fact, see, I can pull out leaves. It's dying. Oops, I'll pick it up later. I cannot replant this pineapple, so I'm just going to cut it off. What I did do, I was listening to Lead Farm yesterday, and he was talking about pineapples, and his videos are always right on time, I tell you. So anyway, he was mentioning a sugar loaf pineapple. So while he was doing the live, and I just happened to be on my computer, I was Googling sugar loaf pineapple and found a location that does sell them. I went and ordered three or four. And right now they're waiting for their next crop of pineapples to become ripe. They even tell you on the website how to plant your own pineapple. So I was happy about that, and I went and ordered some. And if I remember, I will put the website in the description or comments, the extra description part of the video. So what I'm doing now, I'm just gonna go ahead and, oh, I don't have I'm always forgetting something. Just a moment. I'm back. I had to get some plastic bags. I'm always forgetting something. I needed plastic bags anyway for when I start on the cucumbers. Okay, so now I'm just gonna, start cutting. I recently purchased some really good knives. These are Cuisinart. Got them from Costco. Was just going through the aisle one day, and I got them from our Costco run in March. We went to Costco last weekend, just to let you know, and I think I still have the receipt here. I think. No, I don't. I think I threw it away because I got real depressed. We had 2 baskets, and let's just say we spent a lot of money. And I told my mom we will not be going to Costco for the rest of the year because that was just sick. No one should have to spend that much money. Granted, I did get some sunshades. I spent an extra $200 because they had sunshades for the patio on sale. $64.99 each, and I need 3. 2 for the large end, and I should be wearing gloves, but yeah, I think I'm going to get my gloves. Go clean them and get my gloves. 2 for the long end and 1 for the short end. $64.99. Really good shades because it just gets really hot in that patio. We can't watch TV. Have a TV out there. We like to sit out there and watch TV, and we can't. And just a couple of other things, but I mean, we spend way too much. I've seen people had a little bit in their cart, and they were spending like $300. Costco is now the $500 store. Granted, we still got what we need. We got meat. That's my ice maker back there, you hear. We got a lot of stuff that we needed, but it's just ridiculous. So hold on while we'll get my gloves. I'm trying to have you see this while I go get my gloves and start cutting this pineapple some more. Okay, so I actually always wash my gloves because I use gloves for so many things. And I'm going to kind of wipe this down too. Should get all the dry pineapple stuff on it. let's get to cutting. Okay, so as you can see, I got an octagon of a pineapple. I'm going to go ahead and continue cutting this down, cleaning it out, and then I'll show you what I have left. I'm going to do both of the pineapples because I got two and I want to dehydrate a lot of pineapples. Okay, I'll be with you guys in a little while. Funny story, my mom was just in here, it's kind of leaning, and she goes, I can fill up my cup with ice. I go, you sure can, Mama. So, okay. Let's put the pineapple up here. So you'll hear the ice maker in the back because it's creating more ice. And you'll also hear, you may hear the laundry going. My hands are clean. So the videos that I've watched said to cut the pineapple into thin pieces. I tried to cut them as thin as I can. Some I cut like this and some I cut in really short pieces. And so I'm putting it on the mesh so that the pieces won't fall through. I'm probably going to use all of my racks on these because I cut up 2 pineapples and I want to have a lot of dehydrated pineapple. Hopefully you can hear me. I'm trying to learn to speak up when I'm doing videos because I tend to talk very low. So let's see, so that's what I'm doing now. And I'm just squeezing pieces in between here. I'm going to wash my hands real quick. Once I'm done putting the pineapples in a dehydrator, I'm going to put my jars in the dishwasher. I'm going to do a lot of jars today, a lot of jars. And sanitize them, and then I'm going to stop and eat because you need to eat, you need to nourish my body. And yeah, so that's one rack. And I got this extra mesh here. So far this is one. I have 4 racks prepared with mesh, but I'm probably going to need more. So I'm going to come back to you when these are all in there. Okay, so I got excuse me excuse me, I got 5 trays of pineapples. Some I did like this, trying not to drop it, and some I did smaller pieces, as you can see. The Dehydrator comes with 2 mesh sheets, but good thing is when I ordered the Dehydrator, I ordered more mesh sheets. And I had to cut them because they were too big, but that's okay. So to dehydrate pineapples, I have my book here. I'm going to turn this on for, oh, it's not plugged in. Sorry. I'm like, why is it not turning on? Have to plug it in, precious. All right. And as you can see, I have the Dehydrator away from the wall so that it can get air. So I'm going to start, put the temperature down. Put the temperature down to 125. Put the time up to 9 hours. Ta-da! We're dehydrating pineapples. Ta-da! Okay, so let me get the jars. I'm gonna do a top rack and a lower rack in the dishwasher today because I'm gonna be canning a lot of stuff. And this will be going basically all day. So from 9 a.m. we started, probably to 9, 10 o'clock at night, usually the time I go to bed. So I'm not gonna have to worry about this. I may check on it every now and then, but that's about it. That's it for the Dehydrator. Let me put my jars in the dishwasher and then I'm gonna stop and eat and then we'll get to cutting up the cucumbers. Okay everybody, I've been busy. So I've cut up the cucumbers and the onions and I have them on ice and salt right now sitting over there. The pineapple is still going. It is 12:25 on this Sunday, August 14th. I looked at the calendar. The pineapples have 5 hours and 34 minutes to go. So right now what I'm doing is making the brine for the bread and butter pickles, which is 3 cups of pickling vinegar. If you're going to be canning, I suggest you try to get as many of the kosher salt, pickling salt, all of that you need, because you never know when a recipe is going to call for it. It also calls for pickling salt, 2 cups of sugar, 2 teaspoons of mustard seed, 2 teaspoons of turmeric, a teaspoon of celery seed, a teaspoon of ginger. I think that's all of them. Yeah. So right now what I'm doing is stirring this until it turns into a boil and all the sugar dissolves. You can kind of see the steam coming off of the water canner too. Then once the sugar completely dissolves, I'm going to add the cucumbers and the onions. The jars are done. They've been done. They've been sanitized in the dishwasher, and I left the dishwasher closed. That's where they are. Today I don't have as much room over here, so I'll be doing like 1 or 2 jars at a time, filling them, and then moving on. I'm missing something, just a moment. This, my utensil holder. So I'm just doing this till it dissolves. Now for the cucumber and the onions, you're supposed to leave it in the ice and salt for an hour and a half. I've had the cucumber sitting. I've had the cucumber sitting in ice the whole time I was cutting them. I did find 2 bad cucumbers in the batch. So I have about 4 or 5 pounds of cucumbers cut. What I do is when I cut the cucumber in half, I take a small piece, bite the middle, and I immediately tasted a bitter taste. So I don't know if those particular cucumbers were cross-pollinated with something, but it was nasty. Threw it away. Threw them away. They were no good. So I suggest when it comes to certain foods like your cucumbers, tomatoes I've never had really a problem, but I'm noticing with the cucumbers some have been not good, so they got cross-pollinated or the plant is going bad or something. I don't know. But those, so I threw away 2 of them. Sliced up lots of cucumbers and onions. It calls for 2 pounds of onions. I never use 2 pounds of onions. In fact, half of the onions that I cut up, I put in a plastic bag and I put in the refrigerator, and I'm going to chop those up some more to make the spaghetti sauce. I say learn how to make recipes your own. It just seemed like way too many onions. So now I still see lots of sugar and salt at the bottom here. Once this dissolves, see lots of sugar. I'm gonna go ahead, get the cucumbers and the onions and throw them in here. One thing about making sweet pickles and bread and butter pickles, they will discolor because of the turmeric. It discolors your utensils. So I'm using this one since it's already discolored. I don't want to discolor any more kitchen tools. And you see me scraping the side because I want to get all the seasoning inside the brine. Now, on my last cucumber canning video, I showed you that I actually found a powder, a seasoning powder to use for the bread and butter pickles. I decided not to use that. I wanted to make it from scratch, and some of the people that I gave cans of pickles to actually really enjoyed this. So that's what I'm going to do. So I will be back with you in a couple of minutes once I start putting the pickles in the onions in the brine. Okay, so the cucumbers are in the brine. This one is almost like a pickle, okay? And in a little while I'm going to taste some of these. But as you can see, some of them are still light cucumbers. They're light. So we have a little time. So that's all you do is, well, it is actually a lot of work. You have to cut up all the cucumbers, cut up the onions, measure out your seasonings, put the cucumbers on ice and salt, like layer, cucumber, ice, salt, cucumber, onions, ice, salt. And this time I'm not using as many onions, because last time I felt like I had a lot of red onions, and yeah, I felt like I had more onions than cucumbers. I want more pickles than I do want onions. But you still need to cook the cucumbers with the onions so you can have that nice taste. So I will come back to you guys shortly once I start canning our bread and butter pickles. All right, see you in a moment. Okay, so the bread and butter pickles have been canned. From the last 33 seconds of them being in there. So once you're done canning them, you cut the fire off and let the jars rest for 5 minutes. And oh, it's right here. Okay. And I love these silicone gloves. These are the best. I got them from Pampered Chef through one of my friends. And I'm gonna take the top off. Always use the timer on my microwave. Always lift the top away from you. Okay. And I made all pint jars this time. Last time I did half pint. This time I did all pints. And I love this thing. I just pull it out. And today I'm sitting them on here, on top of a rack. Okay, so that's what I'm doing. I'm gonna take a little break, eat a snack. It's 1:41. I'm doing pretty good today. I started a little bit before 7. It's 1:41 in the afternoon. I'm gonna take a break, have a little snack, and then start on the spaghetti sauce. Maybe I can get to frying some eggplant today. I don't know. We'll see. Oof. And let me turn the camera around. Here are the bread and butter pickles. The lids are going to start clicking in a moment because they're sealing. And I think I did better this time. I made sure I really packed the pickles in the jar and put lots of juice. So I'm hoping these come out better. Okay, I'll see you all when I get the spaghetti sauce ready. See you guys in a bit. On with the tomatoes. So I am chopping. I'm not peeling. If I wanted to peel the tomatoes, I would put them in boiling water and then like squeeze the peeling off. But in general, I never really peel the tomatoes. It doesn't bother me to have peeling in the sauce. This is a Kellogg's breakfast. Most people say use like Roma or a paste tomato for sauces. Generally that's because they probably don't carry as much water as like a beefsteak. But you could use any tomato for making tomato sauce and salsa. Generally they say aromas are best for the salsa, but I grow a variety of different tomatoes every year, and I use all the tomatoes and put them in my tomato sauce. So this is a Kellogg's breakfast right here. Like I was just saying, cutting off the ugly parts, and I just cut. It is very juicy, and I kind of like that because then the tomato sauce cooks in its own juice. Yeah. And I just chop. These are overly ripened, and I cut them as small as I can, and that's one of the jars of pickles clicking over there. And I have 3 hours and 30 minutes to go for the dehydration of the pineapples. I actually tasted one. It was pretty good. And I throw the tomatoes in there. The sauce still comes out red, even with the Kellogg's breakfast or lighter color tomatoes, but these are really good and really juicy. So I just wanted you to see what I'm doing. I had me a little break, ate me a little lunch. Now I'm back to this. It's only 2:36. I'm doing pretty good today. I think last time when I did the pineapples and the jelly and the pickles, it took me to like almost 10 o'clock at night. So I'm doing pretty good. I may even be able to get this done, get outside, soak my trees. Today is tree soaking day. I usually let the water run on the trees for about 30 minutes to an hour out there. And then I might wash me a load or two of clothes. Okay, so let me get to this. I haven't even been watching TV today because I just want to get this done. Anyway, let me get to this, and then I'll come back and show you when it's cooking on the stove. Okay, so I have cut up the tomatoes. A little messy here. Cut up all the tomatoes. Look how juicy and red they are. Yeah. I actually still probably have another 4 to 6 pounds of tomatoes over there. Some are turning red, some are still green, and I think next week I'm going to go ahead and make homemade salsa and can the salsa. As you can see, using my own homemade garlic powder. Thank you, Miss Linda, and thank you, Miss Renee. Miss Linda from the New Orleans Gardener, Miss Renee from Miss Renee's Garden. So I'm using a 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1/4 cup of olive oil. And these are onions that I had left over from doing the pickles. It says it calls for 1 onion. I do my own recipe, simple recipe, using some white sugar, some dried basil, some dried parsley, and some salt. So, and this is one of my onions that I grew, so I'm using mostly everything that I've grown. I do not make my own olive oil. Let me try to turn this way. Here we go. I don't make my own olive oil. I wish I could. I wish I had the room to grow some olive trees, but I don't, so I'm chopping up onions right now. Another thing is that when I do my tomato sauce, I always take the juice that's coming from the tomatoes and put it in tomato sauce. Oh, also, I'm going to put mushrooms in my tomato sauce. Yesterday, my mother made a pasta, and I went to the store because she knows I'm a meat eater, but I'm not a big meat eater. So she made like a fettuccine, like an Alfredo pasta yesterday with some chicken, and she didn't hardly use all the mushrooms. I said, I'm gonna take the mushrooms and put them in my my spaghetti sauce, and that's what I'm going to do. So as you can see, I'm chopping up the onions, and I'm gonna come back once I throw the onions and the garlic powder and the mushrooms into the skillet. So I just wanted you to see where it was at. It's going on 3:30, so I'm making pretty good time. All right, see you all in a little while. So I went and put on my soaping glasses because the fumes from the onions are just getting to me. When you grow your own onions, be prepared that they are very, very strong. The fumes, the taste, and actually that's a good thing because you're able to taste every nook and cranny of your food, unlike buying non-organic store-bought fruits and vegetables that have been sprayed with all types of pesticides. It just comes with the territory. So yeah, I think next year I'm going to do a really big bed of onions in the fall, onions and garlic, so I can get more onions and still put them throughout the garden bed. So I just wanted you to show that. And with these glasses, they have this on it, so it helps keep your eyes safe. So I just wanted to show you that I had to put these glasses on because of the fumes. All right, let me get back to it. Okay, so now I am cutting up mushrooms. If you don't know, generally you want to cut mushrooms lengthwise. Why, I don't know. Anyway, just gonna chop these up. I like big chunks. I love mushrooms. I can eat a meal with no meat and have mushrooms. That'll be my protein. Mushrooms, okay? So generally you just cut them like this. Really easy to cut up. Big chunks. My mother is going to probably pick the mushrooms out, but I don't care because I'm making the spaghetti sauce, and I asked if she wanted to learn to make it, and she was like, no thank you. When she makes it, she can make meat spaghetti sauce. I don't make meat spaghetti sauce. I make vegetable spaghetti sauce. And even when I buy Prego, which now that I'm making my own spaghetti sauce, I rarely do, I buy the chunky mushroom. Yep, I sure do. Okay, so let me get back to this. I'm almost done. I'll be putting all of the ingredients in the skillet shortly. Okay, so put this over here. Just did something. This. I need this. Okay. Put the camera over here. Put that there. I have my other seasonings on the other side of the dehydrator, right here. And actually it says I have an hour and 50 minutes left. So I miscalculated. It's barely 4:15 in the afternoon. I'm very happy. So, what tool is Miss Precious gonna use? Going to use this. And going to use this. So it says heat the olive oil in a large skillet over medium heat. Add onion and garlic powder. Cook and stir until onion is translucent, so about 5 minutes. So this is 1/4 cup of olive oil. Just gonna pour that in there. And I'm gonna just scoop every bit of it out. The only thing that's in my sink right now is the cutting board and that measuring cup I just put in the sink. Okay, so I'm just heating olive oil right now. And besides the onion and the garlic powder, my homemade garlic powder I'm so proud of, and I'm going to add mushrooms. I still didn't finish cutting up all those mushrooms, so I let them dry on a paper towel, and then I put them in a baggie. I will be bringing those mushrooms to work all week long. So I love mushrooms, okay? Just to let you know. So I'm just gonna put that right here on my spoon, my utensil holder. And I love the skillet because I can do this with the handles. Don't try this with an all metal pan, ladies and gentlemen. But I can do this. Let it heat for a little while. And it says you're just going to cook this for about 5 minutes. And then after I do that, I'm going to add tomatoes, sugar, basil, parsley, and salt. Bring to a boil. Reduce heat, simmer occasionally. And then I'm just going to start piping it into my jars. Now, it calls for 1 tablespoon of white sugar. Me and my mom, we like the sweet side of life. So I'll probably be tasting and adding more sugar to the recipe. So I'm just going to start with my onions. You can hear a little bit of a sizzling, a little bit, with the onions. And gonna do that. Gonna cook the onions a little bit before I start adding everything else. Okay. I see people add carrots and all types of stuff to their spaghetti sauce, and I'm like, why? But you know what? I'm adding mushrooms, so hey, to each his own. I think some people like putting in fillers. So growing up, my mother would use corn, loose corn, for a lot of stuff. And it was a filler, basically to make the meal larger when you're poor. A lot of people do it. And I'm actually going to add a little bit more oil to this. Just a little bit. So I think it needs a little bit more. Just a little. Okay? Because now I'm adding mushrooms to it. And this recipe doesn't call for mushrooms, but again, I love mushrooms. Okay. Ooh, and you can smell the garlicky goodness. I'm actually going to come back. I'm going to turn off the air and open the door. Okay, I'm back. And I'm turning on the fan because I do not want the smoke alarms going off. So that's why I opened the door. And I don't want the garlic smell staying in the house. Now I'm going to add my mushrooms. My fresh mushrooms to the mix. So I hope you can see that. Oh, how I love mushrooms. And the onions are starting to get a little bit more translucent. I heard a beep. I think that was my ice maker. The onions are starting to get a little bit more translucent, which is good. Just cooking it down. There we go. Then I'm going to add my tomatoes. And again, when I was chopping up my tomatoes, I keep the juice. I let it cook in the juice, and it is oh so delicious. It is 4:22. I'm going to start adding the tomatoes and stuff because at 5 o'clock I'm just going to let the sauce, well before 5 o'clock, I'm going to let the sauce simmer. And I got to go outside and water my trees. That's my neighbor setting off his alarm. And another thing, when you add your own juice, you don't have to add anything else. Because this recipe doesn't call for you to put like tomato paste or anything in it. It's going to be so good. Oh my goodness. Every year I make my own spaghetti sauce. And I think I'm going to add probably take this out, let's switch, maybe some more garlic powder to this. Yeah, I use way more than 4 pounds of tomatoes. Yes, I did. And I don't care. All of this is going to cook down anyway. So now I'm adding the 1 tablespoon of white sugar. You see that's not enough. And this is why I usually add more, because I have way more tomatoes than what I thought. You see? Put that right there. This is the dried basil. Okay. The dried parsley. And the salt. And so now I'm just mixing it. And it says bring to a boil and reduce heat and simmer. Stir occasionally until sauce is thick for 1 to 2 hours. So while I'm cooking the sauce is when I'm going to go outside and turn the water on my trees. And then I generally do not go outside to water my garden until about, it's 4:20, 4:26 now. I usually don't go out there till about after 6:30. By then the sauce should be ready. And then I'll just let it simmer on the stove, and then a little bit after 7 I will go ahead and start canning it and put it in the canner, and I'll be done. I'm still debating if I'm gonna have any energy to cut up 2 eggplant and fry them, because tomorrow is Meatless Monday. If you listen to the New Orleans Gardener on Sunday, she always asks, always asks, if you're going to do Meatless Monday. And look at that. Fantastic. Okay, so that's how I make tomato sauce. And I do everything by taste. And you just cook it down for a couple of hours. I like mine chunky. Some people put theirs in the blender. I always like my salsa and my tomato sauce chunky. I always cook it in its own juices and add lots of seasoning. So that's it for now. I will come back to you. As you can see, this was a whole day process. Canning pickles, dehydrating pineapples, and making your own tomato sauce, and canning it. I call it food preservation Sunday. I can't talk. But anyway, I'll come back to you guys in a little bit so you can continue to see the process. Okay, so I have finished the spaghetti sauce. It is 5:22. Hopefully you can't hear Miss Linda, the New Orleans gardener, in the back, because I have to listen to what she's saying. So I have her down real low. But remember, it was real bright, and now you can't even see the like yellow colored tomatoes. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead, start getting these into the jars. Let me turn this fire up on high. And actually you can see the tomato skins curling up on the tomatoes. So, but I'm just going to can my first jar right now, and then the rest I'll do off camera. I might get 4 to 5 of these pint containers. And you fill them to about 1/2 inch head space. I may have some energy, you guys, to make some fried eggplant. I just might. So 1/2 inch. It's right there. A little bit more. Just a little bit more. Not too much more. Then you get the bubbles out, if there's any, but hey, you just check for it. I let my mom taste it. She's happy. Gonna measure that out some more. It's right there. Then have a wet paper towel, wipe it off, so that way we can get a really good seal. And I have 42 minutes left on my pineapples. I'm telling you guys, I'm doing like real good today, real good. And then you tighten until finger tight. And this is hot. And that's my tomato sauce. Okay, I'll be back with you guys after these are done canning. Okay, So I'm putting the jars in the water bath canner. They're going to be in here for 35 minutes. Okay? 35 minutes. Oop. I actually had to reopen the jars because I forgot to put a little bit of citric acid in there, which helps. And it's 5:39. I have to go move the water hose. And I'm listening to Miss Linda. I'm doing a lot of stuff right now, you guys. 35 minutes. Boom. I'm gonna turn this down to a medium heat. I'm good. I'll let you know when it's done. Bye. Okay, so I am done with the spaghetti sauce. Let me show you. Spaghetti sauce is done. Pickles are done. I'm done canning for the evening, but it is 6:32. What I'm going to do is take out 2 nice size eggplants, and I'm going to fry them. I'm going to batter and fry them. But first, before I do that, what you do is you cut them up, slice them, and you put salt on them to get the bitterness from the seeds out and let them sit. While they're sitting here, I'm going to go outside and water my garden. So I'll be with you all. I'll be back in a little while. Ladies and gentlemen, I came out here to water, and I just happened to look down at the watermelon patch and found another watermelon. The squirrel ain't even found this one. Ain't no bites on it. Look at this. Not a bite. Not a bite. So I'm about to put the shade cloth all over it, and I'm going to water it today because it looks like it's fresh and new. Let me show you. Looks like it's fresh and new. The tendrilo or tendriller, whatever you call it, is still green. So I'm gonna water it. Hopefully it won't explode or crack, and I'm gonna cover her up. I still gotta cut open the other one that I got in the house, and we gotta try that one out. So okay, let me get to watering. Okay, so I am on the last leg of Preservation Food Sunday. So I've already that was my ice maker, sorry. I've already gone and watered the garden. Found a hidden watermelon out there. Very happy about that. And now I'm going to start with the eggplant. So to help myself, I've already put salt on the eggplant, and it gets kind of messy. And I put seasoning salt in the flour and seasoning salt in the egg. And do it like this. And breadcrumb. I said breadcrumb. I've made eggplant before, so if you can check for a video last year, the eggplants were a lot smaller than this one. And we're frying. I always try to start off with a fork, but it never works. So, and the grease is still not hot enough. And I use olive oil, okay? Put the eggplant in the egg. Put it in the breadcrumbs. And I've only cut up 2 eggplant. Oh, come on. and fry. Let me just put the fork down and say forget it. Let me move this back here. See a little bit better. And the reason why I decided to fry the eggplant is because I'm doing Meatless Monday and I want to be prepared for tomorrow. Flip the eggplant over. I'm using a smaller skillet. I've even already washed the water bath canner. Already washed it and put it away. I'm a kind of person that likes to clean as they go. And these are Italian breadcrumbs. I put the pineapple on for another hour because I bit into one and there was still juice. And I'm going to get another fork. And I'm going to put some more breadcrumb on there. And keep it moving because I kind of want to get done. It's 7:32 in the evening. I did pretty good. I did like a full 12-hour day, but it was enjoyable. Okay. Dip it in the egg, put it in the egg. Throw the breadcrumb on top, turn it over. More breadcrumb. Now, these eggplant aren't as big as I wanted, but they are bigger than last year. I like to see those big eggplants that you like see in the store. I'll give this a rest for a minute. It's browning. And I still have some spaghetti sauce from last year up there, so I'm gonna open a jar of that. And got some pasta that my mom made. And have eggplant parmesan. Oh, and take some of those mushrooms in there too. I could make fried mushrooms, but I'm not gonna do that. Had a busy day. I watered my trees. I like the eggplant to get crispy brown. And I told myself I was going to do more than just fry eggplant, so I do have a forming grill. Somebody's emailing me. I have time. And I think I'm going to try to put them on the forming grill. And I'm going to leave that one in there just a little bit longer because, again, I like them really brown. Put them on the paper towel to dry. And start on some more. Okay, put it in the egg, turn it over. Fry it up. Turn this one over. These two over. They're looking pretty golden. bit longer. Get one more. Get a thin one. Alright, that one's nice and crispy and golden. It's almost like zucchini, kind of. So, I'm going to fry the rest of these up and I'll show you the results when I'm done. Okay, everybody, so most of the pineapple is dehydrated and it's good. It is good. Some of it, I can still bite it and get juice. So I moved those racks to the bottom and put it on another 2.5 hours. But you see, I'm eating it. Also, making a little batch. Also, chicken parmesan. Eggplant parmesan is done. This one's pretty. This one's not. It was towards the end. That's my spaghetti sauce popped in. It was towards the end, so I didn't feel like putting down no more. That was good. Breadcrumb. So I'm the only one who's gonna eat this anyway. I think I might have 1 or 2 for dinner. And that's it. So I made 5 jars of bread and butter pickles, 5 jars of spaghetti sauce, cut up eggplant, fried it for Meatless Monday, pineapple snacks for Meatless Monday, because I have to prepare. If I wait till the last minute, I won't do it. All I have to do is kind of sweep and Swiffer a little bit because I got stuff everywhere, and that's it. It really counts to grow your own food. My mom used to always ask, why are you growing so much? Why are you growing so much? This is why. So that I can my own food. We don't eat spaghetti or pasta every day, but when we want to, we got a big, still kind of warm, big jar of spaghetti sauce. Or if we make hamburgers or hot dogs, jars of bread and butter pickles. I don't have to go to the store to buy it. A pack of seeds now is $2.99, $1.99 if you can find it on sale. But you get a plethora of food for $1.99. In California, one long cucumber is $1. A pack of seeds got me jars and jars of pickles, jars and jars of tomatoes, copious amounts of eggplant. When you pay $1.50 for an eggplant at the store, I got a pack of seeds and I have 6 eggplant plants sitting out there giving me numerous amounts of food. So I'm gonna tell people, even if you're living in an apartment, if you have a balcony, container garden, some people say they can't grow in their apartment. Well, then maybe it's time for you to move. Maybe you can rent some property where the owner will allow you to grow a garden. Or maybe it's time for you to make plans to, like Lead Farmer says, move out of your area and You know, I know some people want to be close to their families, but sometimes people's families follow them if it's more economical. California is expensive. It's not a place that I don't want to leave, but probably one day I may have to leave it. And if I do, then hey, I still want to be growing my own food. So this is it for today. You see what I did for Preservation Food Sunday. I will not be canning every Sunday, but when I do, I'm gonna start calling it Preservation Food Sunday. I also hope if you're watching my channel, you enjoyed the recall video. Well, not so much enjoyed it. I hope you got some information out of it. So that is it for this Sunday, August 14th. As I always say, please find peace within yourself and please be peaceable with each other. I love you all. Have a restful Sunday evening. Bye. Okay, everybody, I'm still up. It's going on 9 o'clock. So I took the one watermelon I thought I was able to save out of the refrigerator in the garage. And I thought it was a crimson. It was one of my orange watermelons. Let me show you. Let me show you. It is so good. Oh my God. Like, oh my God. That watermelon is so good. I had told my mom to cut it up, and she forgot. I'm happy she forgot, because if she would have saw that it was an orangelo watermelon, it was orange, she would have threw it away. So I gave her a piece. She was like, "Oh, this is good." So I thought it was red. I thought it was a crimson. It's an orangelo. It is so good. Oh my God. Okay, that's it.